Oh, 1400 guy, boo. He says as he is a 1400 guy. Okay, that's as standard as it can really get. Alright, so against this, I believe my game plan is that, that, and don't bother thinking about it even more. I think it's reasonable to go with Volcarona as the lead as well, but this should still be perfectly fine. I think it's just about positioning the Volcarona correctly against these two, because Volcarona is very good against Shadow Rider and Zamazenta. But if you let Volcarona take an Astral Barrage before you Quiver Danced, then that's not as ideal, because you actually take a lot of damage. Whereas if you've got the Quiver Dance and then you start spamming Struggle Bug, then the Calyrex doesn't do as much. And then Fiery Dance can start to really threaten the Zamazenta. That would be a cool training card, but the shield's covering Munchlax. There's just Calyrex and Chien-Pao. Entirely reasonable. So I haven't actually done the Calp, but if I live a Glacial Lance, I live an Ice Spinner / Icicle Crash, right? Supposedly. Should be able to Thunder Wave the Calyrex. And do I want to Terra? Yeah, I think I'm going to. Means I can't tear the Calyrex anymore to just shrug off the Shadow Rider. Reasonable, reasonable. Bit of a shame I didn't reflect, but that's okay. Okay, Ice Spinner can't flinch. I'm much more content with that. Because that's definitely still down to a sash. So what I can do here is I can go into Volcarona, I can click Thunder Wave into Calyrex and Struggle Bug to just immediately take care of the Chien-Pao. And then the Struggle Bug will be the equivalent of a Quiver Dance, because they'd have got -1 already. I think that is reasonable to go for. They can still Throat Chop me and do a good chunk to Volcarona though. But I still want to Thunder Wave the Calyrex for sure, to put it slower than my Miraidon. And then if Chien-Pao's taken care of, then that will free up my Miraidon a bit more as well. But in my opinion, Ice Spinner is better than Icicle Crash. Getting rid of terrain is nice, and just the consistency is great. Obviously, flinches are pretty sweet, but I'm trying to be as consistent as I can be. He says as he clicks 90% accurate Thunder Wave, but does connect, so reasonable. I expect to take a crunch on the Volcarona for a decent chunk. Nope, just Ice Spin Grimmsnarl. That's fine. I keep more HP on my Volcarona, which is much more preferable. There's the Astral Barrage, but that won't KO the Grimmsnarl. It will do a good chunk to Volcarona now. Yep, that's probably Life Orb. Yep, my damage intuition is still pretty good. And that's Rillaboom. That doesn't threaten Volcarona. Okay. So I believe I just protect here and attempt to get a screen. It might Grassy Glide my Grimmsnarl, but that's okay. Which screen is better? Reflect is better because I'm intending to just Electro Drift the Calyrex. Right? I'm expecting to lose Grimmsnarl this turn, but which screen is better? I think Reflect is because they're -1. They'll go back to neutral. That's okay. I'll protect here and lose the Grimmsnarl. Then I'll go back into Miraidon. And then I'll be able to Electro Drift the Calyrex and Quiver Dance the Volcarona, and then my Quiver Dance. My Volcarona should just sweep. They didn't Grassy Glide the Grimmsnarl, though. They have substitutes. Does that change anything? Well, it does, because I can't KO them now. And they did correctly call the Protect, so good play. So I set up a Reflect. Now my Miraidon still lives comfortably. Like, if I take care of the Calyrex, my Calyrex 1v2 Zamazenta and Rillaboom. Like, you don't normally 1v1 a Zamazenta. Zamazenta 1v1's Calyrex Ice Ride normally, but not my Leech Seed one. So... Ooh, I have Snarl. Oh yeah, that's way better. And they're not going to Terra here. Yeah, I can just Snarl, bypass the substitute, and get a Quiver Dance. That's so much better. Yeah, perfect. Nice. Best of 1, close team sheet for the win, for me for once. Nice. That is just immediate game over. They cannot break my Volcarona and my Calyrex Ice Rider if they have Zamazenta waiting in the back. Okay, they had high horsepower, but Reflect was the correct screen. One would assume it is Zamazenta. Like so, and the game is over. Nice. I shall now switch into my Calyrex. I shall Fiery Dance. Let's go for Rillaboom because it can't protect. Assumedly. It's got high horsepower, so I'm going to make the assumption that it is Assault Vest. Well, because it has high horsepower, it can hit my Volcarona a little bit more, but if it does, it's open to Flame Body. Like, I am feeling incredibly confident in this match. The Snarl tech coming through is really nice. Because there is literally no reason to Terra in a closed team sheet match with that Shadow Rider. There should likely be a Terra here. There is not a Terra here. And that is reasonable to go for in the face of Heat Wave, but if you run Heat Wave and Struggle Bug, no, you should not do that. Because you'd be wide-guarded completely. If you're running Struggle Bug, you run Fiery Dance or Flamethrower. Like, there's no debate with that. Look at that, that's just pathetic. Excellent. And I am not going to Leech Seed here, I'm just going to get the damage shot from Body Press that will put it in range of Fiery Dance because it will just be slightly quicker. There's the Terra finally. Is that going to save it? It'll be close. Won't make any difference. Nope, didn't save it. And this Body Press will do probably what? Like 35, 40%? They'll do a noticeable chunk. And you can see why my Ice Rider... There we go, about 35%. My Ice Rider 1v1 Zamazentus. Who needs Trick Room when you are this bulky? And I believe that Fiery Dance should KO them from here. Yes, very good. So that's how double restrictors tend to go, or at least it went for me in previous formats. Because I'm such an anti-meta player, then what tends to be is like, oh, if I take care of this restricted, suddenly my counter to the other one just wins. And in this situation, when the Shadow Rider was dealt with, well, they couldn't break Volcarona and Ice Rider at all. Whereas Shadow Rider could break my Ice Rider, because I didn't use the Terror. But Snarl was nice. Bypassing Sub was a bonus. Like, I'd have still gone for Snarl, even if they hadn't clicked Substitute. But the fact that it just bypassed Sub because it's a sound move is just funny. And finally, back to positive. And 1500s guy. Okay, Zacian Kyogre again, and I got absolutely bodied last time by... But it had a Mungus previously, so... Alright, what I'm going to do for this one is I'm going to lead with Miraidon and Calyrex and just go with it straight away. I don't think I'm going to lead with Grimmsnarl because we've already seen that Zacian will just go for Behemoth Blade turn 1 and KO it. Because if they lead with Rillaboom and Zacian, they just get to go for Fake Out into Miraidon, Behemoth Blade into Grimmsnarl, and that's not good. I'm also going to adjust to Iron Hands based on my previous battle with the Zacian Kyogre, because it would have actually been pretty good in that situation. And then I will still bring my Urshifu, because I think that Urshifu is good here. So I am not screensing, even though I do in most of my matches. That's a cool trainer card. Rillaboom Zacian. Rillaboom Kyogre, okay. That's still reasonable, I think. And it is not Scarf Kyogre. Okay. That is much better for me. Now, is there anything wrong with just protect the Calyrex and Volt Switch, get faked out, they get to do an Origin Pulse or something, and then I can just Volt Switch next turn as well. Right? Let's do that. This is a very readable protect on the Calyrex, but I do not want to take a huge amount of damage unnecessarily. Because again, this will be one of the situations where if I take care of the Kyogre with a still healthy Ice Rider, then I should be able to beat all the physical attackers. Although if they had their own Urshifu waiting in the back, then it wouldn't be as ideal. There's the Fake Out, as expected. Calm Mind would be the worst case. Just Water Spout, okay. So I'm taking that with Miraidon somewhat comfortably. I did say somewhat comfortably. Right, so now I should be able to go for Volt Switch and Glacial Lance. Although they're going to U-turn, so it would just be worth Leech Seeding the Rillaboom. So I'm definitely Volt Switching here. Although it would be entirely reasonable for them to protect the Kyogre and U-turn into Zacian, because then they'll be able to threaten my Miraidon, and then yeah, be able to go for Play Rough and Water Spout, and I wouldn't be able to do anything about it. So I'm going to make the read that they have to protect here with the Kyogre, and I'm going to Volt Switch the Rillaboom, and I'm going to Body Press the Rillaboom. And I'm hoping this is Rillaboom, because if it's Kyogre, then I could have Volt Switched it. So that's not very good for me. Well, I guess Glacial Lance would have worked out pretty well here as well. Interesting they would go for that in the face of just going for... That's right. 9 hands. But this water spout is now going to hurt because I got this wrong. Ouch. That's not U-turn range because electric seed. Like so. So... This is really bad. To put it mildly. Because they've got their Rillaboom in the back now, so overwrite my terrain whenever they want. It is a shame I didn't Glacial Lance here. Glacial Lance would have been much better. Taking care of that Kyogre's HP would have been pretty sweet. And it is Urshifu, isn't it? Okay. Now it's a 2-shot without the grassy terrain. That's quite impressive. Alright. Fake out here. I guess just Glacial Lance. But then they'll just Surging Strikes and Water Spout here. There's not much I can do about that. I'm not feeling confident in this one at all. Yeah, they do just double attack. If they go into Rillaboom, then I can still overwrite it. I'm not seeing a way through this now. But I do go into Zacian. So at least I can threaten a KO with my Urshifu. But Water Spout is strong enough that it should still KO both my Pokemon. And I don't have Water Terror on the Iron Hands. If I did, I think it would have been pretty reasonable here. But I do not, so I don't think this works. Let's attempt to low kick here and Surging Strikes here. But I don't think that's going to work. They click Origin Pulse and miss. Oh, what? That didn't even KO. That's a pretty bulky Zacian. Or am I just underestimating Urshifu? I would have thought in the rain it would have got it. Well, now I definitely lose. So I've lost my Urshifu now. I don't think it really matters. If they click Water Spout, I don't think it matters. Yeah, they click Water Spout. So... yeah, I don't see a way I could have broken through this, given the strategy that I went for. So in this case, it would have been better to go with Grimmsnarl, because they didn't lead with Zacian. And then just getting a light screen up would have helped. But yeah, the game is definitely over here. I mean, I'm running Miraidon Ice Rider. The worst matchup for Miraidon Ice Rider is just straight up Swordfish. So, bit of a shame I've already faced 2 of them. But that one does seem very true. I'm surprised that doesn't KO Zacian. I'm going to do the count now, because I've got time. Oh yeah, just straight up no chance. I mean, if they got no bulk, then it can do it, but it's very unlikely. So I do need to Water Terror there. And if I do Water Terror, then they are absolute burn back, but that probably wouldn't have mattered. The Water Spout would have still KO'd the Iron Hands. I'd have taken loads with the Urshifu. They'd have just brought in Rillaboom, gone for Fake Out / Glassy Glide or whatever. So, yeah, the game was over regardless. But, so I've learned something. I've learned that the Zacian should live the Surging Strikes. And you should always try to learn from your losses. So the takeaway from me there is don't face Swordfish with this team. Oh, that's a super low 1400s. No! But no, the takeaway is that Zacian can live a Surging Strike in the sun. No, not the sun, the rain. Definitely taking the sun. But this is the sun. And this is like a day 1 koala team that popped up, which seems entirely reasonable, right? So let's do that, do that, do that, and then Volcarona is reasonable, and Iron Hands is reasonable, just like last time. They are likely Power Herb Meteor Beam on the Lunala on this version. So I'm going to go with Iron Hands because Volcarona won't be as effective against that. But this team was built, like, immediately. And it seems like it would be very reasonable. Like, Ursaluna and Lunala is a good pairing, obviously. And that's obviously not a cool trainer card. Okay, same situation where just if I take care of them, of these two, then I should be able to win with my Calyrex. Theoretically. But this is easily light screen. I could consider Snarl. But I've stopped considering Snarl. I just want to take care of the GU. Oh yeah, this is reasonable. This is a lot more reasonable, because I did not target that one. Yeah, that's not much. Decent. Okay, and then I can get my Reflect for the Ursaluna and just hard switch to Calyrex. Although they go Koraidon. I'm still getting Reflect. But is it worth just Electro Drifting? Yeah, I think the damage in Koraidon's worth it. Especially if they Terra Fire. It was not worth it, they're going for Earthquake. This has got to be Earthquake, right? Should have thought about that a little bit more. So hard switch to Calyrex there would have been much better, because I would have still had my entire Miraidon. I'll still have my Grimmsnarl, and I can Thunderwave the Koraidon. But obviously they crit the Grimmsnarl. But I still have my entire Miraidon, which I'm quite surprised about. Like, I know I'm a super bulky Miraidon, but that's still impressive. Right. So I should be able to go with Iron Hands and just low kick the Ursaluna here, right? I think. With the Electric Terrain, that should KO. And then if I just get the chip into the Koraidon, I should be good. Or if I break the Shadow Shield on Lunala, thank you kindly. Ah, but they could Terra Ghost here. So would it have been worth considering doubling the Ursaluna to cover for this? Terra Ghost! No, not quite. But no, this is still very good. Yeah, I'm really happy with this position, because this should two-shot the Lunala. Yeah, they have two shots the Lunala. And they don't tend to carry Protect. And I'm a speedy Iron Hands, so I should be able to just threaten the KO into the Ursaluna now. Which is why I want to Electro Drift it. Because they haven't used their Terra, correct? No, the GC doesn't matter for me. I'm Electro Drifting the Ursaluna. I'm so good. There we go. I can still play this game. Happy with that one. But that was kind of forced by them. Oh, yes, let's go. That's so good. That's immediate game over. Nice. And this will KO the Lunala as well. Because Shadow Shield is broken. Sweet. It is nice that I can still make predictions and still get the hard punishes. But that was entirely logical. Because it's like a lot of the times, I've said so many GC runs, surely though don't let me is usually the sentence that starts to lose me the game. But there, it was, like, I just Electro Drifted Lunala and low kicked the Ursaluna, right? There's another crit, that's quite funny. I still win. But, yeah, that one was just completely forced. You literally do not let me go for Electro Drift into Lunala and low kick into the Ursaluna, I just win. So you were forced to go for the Terra Ghost. And this should KO with the defense drop. Like so. Cool. Happy with that one. And that won't be that many points because they were quite low down and they're even lower now. Even though they got a very reasonable team. But happy with that. That was good.